Going to go now, okay?
Yep.
So on today's episode, I'm speaking to a collector of toys. I guess one of the reasons why I wanted to talk to this person was because I heard that he had a love for Transformers, and that's something that Transformers is something very true to my heart. I love it passionately. I'm not afraid to admit that I love Transformers, and when he told me that he had a collection that was worth about $6,000, I thought, you know what, I have to talk to this guy about his collection. So Sean, welcome.
Thank you very much. It's happy to have you here in my man cave, boy room, toy room, whatever you like to call it.
It's I'm still taken back with this room, and I'll make sure I post pictures of it so people get a real idea of how amazing this room is. But I guess just want to start, just introduce yourself and just give us a little bit of idea of who you are.
Yep, fair enough. Guys, my name's Sean. I'm a Sydney local. I'm 30. I'll be 34 in December. So I was born in 1985, and I've been collecting. Or I guess it's kind of hard to say when you really start collecting, but I know for a fact I've been appreciating toys probably since the age of 4. Like genuinely, I'd be loath to throw away the box art or the cards for appreciation of how cool things looked. Yeah. Let alone also seeing on the back what else I could get out of that collection and dreaming of what I could.
Yeah.
So as a lot of kids my age, there were 3 major things that came out. The first thing was Transformers, G.I. Joe, and He-Man.
Yeah.
Just Ninja Turtles just after that, but they were the 3 in the late 80s. That was the 3. And if anything stood the test of time more than anything, it'd be Transformers out of those 3.
Well, it's still, you look at it these days, they've got the live action movies. The toys are probably going stronger now than they have in a very long time. So I guess talking about Transformers, when did your love for Transformers begin? Do you remember the moment?
I remember my first Transformer. I got it for Christmas in 1989.
Yep.
It was a Micromaster.
Yep.
And then I also got an Action Master named Takeoff.
Yep.
And I was kind of annoyed that the Action Master didn't transform.
Yeah.
But I loved that thing and played with it to death.
Yeah.
And then not long after that, I started getting others. Like I got the Pretender Dinobot. Actually, because my birthday's in December, I'd get presents in my birthday and then presents for Christmas. So I got the Grimlock Pretender that Christmas as well. And in the coming years, I started getting the G1. So I got some Dinobots. I got Optimus Prime, as 99% of all males did at that age.
Yeah.
And I also got Cyclonus, which was for years my favorite Transformer.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he's a purple jet with like spiky head, man. How cool is that toy? I loved him.
Yeah.
So yeah, I definitely started round about while the cartoons were running. 89 was when I really got into it. And I still remember one of the kids on my street, the cul-de-sac I was living at the time, and he had the God Bomber Optimus Prime.
Yeah.
So how he got that is beyond me.
Yeah.
Now, especially looking back now, how the hell that kid got that Optimus was crazy. And he had the movie on tape, and I think
Wow.
So. But remember back then, a movie come out at the cinemas and then took about 2 years to come out on VHS to own. So that was pretty cool. But yeah, that'd be when I started enjoying Transformers.
So you first started through the toys, not so much the show?
I think it's more of a chicken and the egg thing which did come first. I mean, as a kid, really, what's there not to love about Transformers? Like you got to play with cars, which are cool. You got to play with toys, which are cool. These are 2-in-1.
Yeah.
These are great. And then you'd see the cartoons where they're battling. So if you're lucky enough to get it, it was always, if you could get one of the toys that you saw in the cartoon, that was always your favorite one.
Yeah,
definitely.
Oh, nice. So you've got your collection here. We were talking before, over 9, like just recently, 9 years you've been collecting.
Yep.
Do you still hold anything that is from like your childhood?
Unfortunately, I was the when it comes to Transformers, especially, I was the victim of mum giving them to the younger cousins, and then the younger cousins destroying and getting rid of them as a teenager. Even as a teenager, I still had a collection of Transformers and that. Looking the ones that I've owned the longest. I've rebought so many, it's hard to say, to be honest. I may have... I probably do have... The ones I probably own the longest, to be honest, are some of the Titanium series little statues, which were bought new, which are these little Optimus just there.
Oh, yep.
So these are die casts and that, but they're probably the ones that I've personally owned for the longest, but obviously not the oldest toys here.
Yeah, sorry, just... can't stop looking at the collection.
There is one there in the Beast Wars section there. When I was a kid, I loved Inferno.
Oh, yeah.
He's just such a cool looking character, and the toy just looked exactly like you saw him on the screen. I think I saw one on the shelf in my entire life.
Yeah.
Never had him. Then about 7 years ago, when I was rebuying a lot of things, came up on eBay, buy it now, delivered from the UK in box for $33.
Oh, wow.
And I just had to do it.
You got to jump.
I couldn't believe it. And if there was, people asked the hypothetical, if there's a fire and you could only save one Transformer, what would it be? It would be that Inferno.
Oh, okay.
Not even close to the most expensive here, but it's just... I always wanted him as a kid. As an adult, I was able to get him, and he's amazing. I still love it. It's still a great release to me.
Yeah. So, what would you, if you were to have take a guess at sort of what you've spent money-wise on your Transformers collection, would you be able to come up with a figure?
Yeah, it probably is just in total, round about the $5,000 to $6,000 mark.
Yes.
Over the years.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, thank you, Masterpiece Line. Takara, you bastards.
And would you know of any value here?
Sometimes values in the eye of the beholder. What could be more expensive? It just depends. Like the Takara Fort Max is probably the most I'd spent for a new one in box.
Yeah. That's the Takara version, is it?
That's the Takara version, of Fort Max. I loved him. He looked so, and he was the only that was the only way you could get that sword if you got the Takara version.
Yep.
And obviously his color scheme's a little different, but and obviously the shipping from Japan costs a little bit more, so he's probably the most expensive one I've bought new. But even things like, I don't know, you probably haven't even seen over here, I've got the G2, G1 Pyro. It's always hard to figure out exactly if they're considered G1 or G2.
Yeah.
And he was second hand $120, and he was missing two pieces. But it's still, because I had that as a kid and I loved it, but he's one of the good ones that also struggles with the infamous gold plastic syndrome.
Yes.
So it just depends. Like some of the throttle bots can be more expensive than others. Unicron can be more expensive. I've got a fair few G1s which were more expensive than others, but really maybe the my Takara Beast Wars release of the special edition Headmaster Optimus Primal, the Bat one.
Oh, yeah.
That was also, I don't know what they're valued at now, but he was still about 100. He was 140 at the time. So I don't know what they're going for these days, but just depends. It's just the volume of them, to be honest.
Yeah.
And there are the guys in the Transformers Collectors Club. They're men who have so much more than I do.
Yeah.
Like ridiculous in comparison. I'm small fish compared to what they've got.
No, but it all looks good. But I don't know if it's the same for you. But we've got our friends, and we talk about Transformers, and all of a sudden people are like, "Oh, what do you do?" What I'm talking about.
Yeah.
I guess, what do you say to people whenever they sort of throw out the, isn't that for kids?
Yeah, it's I understand. And they're not so bad. It's the ones that try and touch and move stuff or try to invite their kids to touch stuff.
Oh.
It's like, hey man, this isn't your house. You can't do that. Oh, it's just for kids stuff. It's like, well, your kid stuff. Do you know how much this stuff is? Did you buy that?
Yeah.
When you buy that for your kid, you can do that.
Yeah.
But if people do like, oh, you're still collecting toys. Like, yeah, I am.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're damn right I am.
Yeah.
If I've obviously the listeners can't hear, I've got a big Decepticon logo tattooed right on my forearm.
Yes, see that.
So
Try not to judge you on that, but
I do represent everywhere. So I love them.
Yeah.
And if some people want to do drugs.
Yeah.
Some people spend money, an insane amount of money on their cars.
Yes.
And that there is no, from a person who's done up cars, there is no, you're in a money pit.
Yeah.
So spending money on this stuff, things that I can physically hold, keep and enjoy. Everything bar 2 Transformers have been transformed by me.
Yeah.
Only because I'm afraid of their fragility.
Yes, yeah.
So I'm afraid he may snap the old early to mid 90s gold plastic syndrome, which I have had happen to me.
Yeah.
It is heartbreaking when that gold plastic crumbles.
Mm-hmm.
For those of you who don't know, there was a time in the 90s they used this kind of plastic where they used this, I think it's the draining a colour out, and the colour injection in of the gold made an incredibly fragile plastic, which after a few years just disintegrates.
Yeah.
So any of those toys like my G1 Pyro, Skyquake over there, Beast Wars Megatron, really, he's the one that I haven't transformed because I'm freaking out.
Yeah.
What would happen if he went? Beast Wars Transmetals Megatron.
Just the one in the back there.
Yeah. Beast Wars Megatron. Nah, he's cool. He's great. He's a fantastic big chunky figure.
Yeah.
He's good. I love him. He's up there with the other beasts.
Yeah. I see that. Yeah. So for me, this is what I do. So people will always say, "Oh, that's for kids,"
Mm-hmm.
And I always say, so for me growing up, I always loved Transformers, and I always knew that. And I guess for some people, they can get told something and then they just, I guess, take it and just believe it, right? So there would have maybe been Transformer fans growing up, but someone would have said to them, hey, that's for kids, don't bother with that anymore.
Aren't you getting a bit old for that now?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And so, but for me, I never listened to anybody who told me that Transformers is for kids or you shouldn't be doing that. I just knew that this was something that I love, and I'm just going to continue to love it. And I still continue to love it to this very day.
That's beautiful. Have you got many Transformers at all?
I don't have many Transformers, unfortunately. The only the funny thing is that my wife, who probably doesn't listen to this anyway, she'd tell you that one of the first nights I sort of brought her back to where I was living, I had on my bedside table MP1.
Yep. Oh,
he
wow.
was just standing there.
Yeah.
And I guess, and I'm still with my wife now. So obviously she saw past it. She obviously knows how much I love them. But, and unfortunately that MPO1, because I've played with it so much, just, with some Transformers, if you play with them too much, over time, the plastic just starts to wear. And
the ratchets and things like that.
Yeah.
Do you know the ways to improve the strength of ball joints?
How's that?
Okay, there's one way that guys like to use super glue and let it dry. Don't ever do that.
Yeah.
Gently take it apart. If necessary, you use screwdrivers and that. But you pop the ball joints off and get clear nail polish.
Oh, okay.
And coat the ball and then let it set.
Okay, yeah.
What it does is just gives it more friction afterwards.
Yeah.
So that's all. It's a little trick of the trade for Transformers collectors that we like to do if an older figure has gotten a bit floppy.
Yeah.
You don't want it like Woody from Toy Story.
Yeah, because they're difficult to pose, and if you have them standing on like your displays and that.
Yeah.
It's just really difficult.
And you can't have all of them static.
Yeah.
They're not the terracotta warriors, arms to the
yeah.
side. They're action figures. Give them some action.
Yes. And so for me, I don't have many Transformers.
MP1's still impressive though. That's a good pickup.
Yeah, but I mean, seriously, he's really, because my son, as he's grown up, he's wanted to get into it as well. But I've also got the Robots in Disguise, Optimus Prime and Ultra Magnus, who combine into Omega Prime.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Yeah. So I've got that, which that's actually my pride and joy, that like those Transformers that I got.
There, you've got a couple of good ones.
Yeah, and I've got a few others. Like, unfortunately for me, when I was buying up large Transformers, it was when I was in New Zealand, and the line at the time was the Energon Transformer toy line.
Yeah.
So that toy line was out, and so I was sort of buying up quite a few of those ones. Mm-hmm. The Power Link, they had that gimmick going on, so it was quite cool.
Yeah.
At the time, I was like, yeah, cool, because I was buying Transformers again.
Yep.
But looking back now, if you look at what Transformers are coming up with these days, it's like, unfortunately, it leaves it for dead.
But they still had some classic ones in that, like the Galvatron in that line was beautiful.
The colour from the Megatron to the Galvatron. Yeah,
and not long after that, because it was during that time that I'd just fallen out, and I'd go through the toy aisle, no matter how old I was, no matter what I was doing in my life, still to this day, gotta make a beeline for the toy aisle.
Hey, I'm the same every time, and I always sometimes use my son as an excuse. Archer wants to go look at the toys.
You do. I'll keep him occupied. I'll take him to the toy aisle to have a look. Yeah, I understand. Yeah. But I at that stage, I would look and I'm like, well, that's not Starscream that I grew up with. That's not what Optimus looks like. And then not long after that, you had the Classics line come out. Yeah. And that was a game changer for me. Yeah. Seeing the Classics line again, I'm like, well, that's Rodimus Prime. That's exactly what Hot Rod looked. That's Hot Rod. Yeah. That's exact. And they're still to this day, still running the Chug line, for Chugs, which is Classics, Hentai, Generations.
That's a different toy line.
Yeah, I don't have that collection. But they're still going to this day, and they're just great figures. And that coincided just with the movies.
Yes, yeah.
Personally, I don't like the movies.
Yeah.
That's just me.
Yeah.
I'm not upset that they exist though, because without those movies, there wouldn't have been a new generation who enjoyed Transformers, and there wouldn't have been this upswell afterwards that created the Classics line, which created the Masterpiece lines and things like that. So as much as I dislike the actual films, which is a shame because they could have been really good.
Yeah, for sure.
Thankfully, the Bumblebee movie was actually a step in the right direction.
Yeah.
But geez, we got some cool toys after that.
Yeah.
So you'll notice I may have about 4 movie bots, and that's about it in the whole collection. It's just
I'm the same with you when it comes to and this is the thing what people need to understand. Within the Transformers community, you think politics is bad with people with differing opinions. You haven't been in a discussion where you've got Transformer fans. People are defending Beast Wars.
You got your G1ers, your truck not monkeys. You've got your movies. You got your KOs or no KOs. Third parties aren't real. It's people get militant about it. Completionists. Mint and sealed box collectors. It's just there are some who are terrible. Terrible towards other people's collections. To me, it's each your own. If you can afford to buy official,
go for it.
Best of luck. Congratulations. If you can't afford to do it, but you still enjoy it, I see no problem with me personally. I see no problem with the KOs. When people do arc up about that, and say, you're damaging this. I just ask a simple question: have they ever burnt a film? Got copies of films or burnt music? It's the exact same thing with
Yeah.
intellectual property for that. So I don't think people should stand on their high horse sometimes
No.
about that. But I respect their opinion
Yeah,
and their
yeah.
stance on it.
Yeah,
if they want to
exactly.
do that, that's fine. Just
Yeah.
don't degrade the others.
Yeah.
And I know other people who literally, they loved Transformers and couldn't afford any.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to name names at all, but there was a guy who I knew in a community who was down on his luck. I happened to have an extra bit of money in my account, and I bought him a Transformer and sent it to his house.
Oh, nice.
And now he's got a wonderful collection because he can afford things more now, and he's in a better place in his life. But and I know it meant a lot to him just to receive that Transformer that day, and that was a knockoff. It didn't mean anything to him. It was something he could put on his shelf, something he could play with.
Sure. Yeah. So for me with the movies, I think. Yeah, I'm with you. You know, had the movies not come along, I don't think we'd probably see Transformers at the level where it is today.
Not even close. Like, my kids love the movies, especially one of my sons loves the movies.
Yeah, yeah.
I've got 4 boys. 3 old one's only a baby. The 2 eldest ones love the Transformers. The second one, he loves Transformers. Loves them to death.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think they'd care as much.
Yeah.
They wouldn't have had all the follow-on cartoons either,
yeah.
which have created more toys.
Yes,
again.
and more fans as well.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, you know, my kids know, and they love to watch, now that they were introduced to the movies, they've started watching back and getting DVDs of Armada, of Energon, G1. I've got the entire series of Beast Wars for them to watch and things like that. I've got all the G1 cartoons, including Master Force and all the English dubs, which at first watch, I'm like, these are terrible, but I've loved them so much now.
The thing is, so I would consider myself maybe a G1er, because that's how I was introduced to it.
Yep.
But like, I'd like to know, like, the fans that are watching it now that are just getting into it, what they like. Because if you go back and watch some of that G1 stuff, like, it's pretty. Some of it's, I think we put it on a pedestal too much.
Yeah,
the old G1.
Yeah, some of the animation. Is a bit odd, and the continuity, like, you know, Autobots can fly sometimes. And And guys have weird things that they can do and then can't, but. In essence, the show was probably one of the better ones. Like, even the thing that still gets me to this day is G1 season 1. It was still in the credits. The scene where Starscream is standing there as a robot, then jumps, transforms into the jet, and flies off. It's all done so seamless, and boom. I'm like, that's amazing. And it was the same way that the toy transformed. Things like that. That's, you know, that's what got you involved. And I think Beast Wars did a great job coming afterwards. The way your toy transformed was almost identical to the way that was transformed.
And that's the problem with a lot of the G1 toys. Is, I guess, when we were young, we didn't know otherwise. You know, we're like, wow, this is awesome. But if you look at what they're doing now with Siege toy line and whatnot, compared, and it's like, wow, these things look exactly like the cartoon, and they look in robot mode look exactly the same. You look back to what we had growing up, it'd be like, oh, geez.
The and the size disparity. The scale is so out. But back then it was a different time. The 80s, the 80s and early 90s were great. But it's true, the scale wise and the actual visual of those toys compared to the cartoons were a little out. Beast Wars did a lot to change that. Everything looked, bar 1 or 2, looked exactly like they saw on screen, and I think we are spoiled today with what they make. Even the Robots in Disguise, the kids one that was on, the toys that came out of that line, they're great little toys.
Well, that's like the toys now, like, they're just like, I wish these toys were around when we were growing up. You know, because you've got like, I'm just looking around, you've got Fortress Maximus, Triptychon.
I've thought about an original Fortress Maximus a few times, because that was, for years, that was the holy grail for everyone. That was the largest Transformer ever made, mass produced, and the prices just were getting ridiculous. Like, you're talking 600 plus for a good Fort Max, and In saying that, I didn't pay that much less for that
Yeah,
Max in
I was
the
going to
end.
say, yeah.
But no, like it's still that Fort Max, the original one. It's amazing.
Yeah.
As a kid, I never saw it on the shelf. Doesn't mean it was never there.
Yeah,
I just never saw it.
Yeah.
But Metroplex, once again, the scale, it was a big transformer. But
Yeah.
I mean, come on, like I had transformers that were almost the same size of him.
Yeah, it wasn't exactly the biggest.
And G2 Megatron, he was the coolest looking toy I'd ever seen when he came out. The green and purple tank.
Yeah.
If anything, I don't think I'm a G1er. I think I'm a G2 to Beast Wars, but more G2.
Yeah.
The cartoon, obviously, G2 was just redone.
Yeah.
You know, for us in Australia, we had Cheese TV in the mornings, which was Agro's Cartoon Connection before that.
Yeah.
Cheese, so we'd have our X-Men, Transformers, Techno Man, and things like that. That was the best. That was because Cartoon Connection was He-Man, Thundercats, and stuff like that.
Because I'd say the Fortress Maximus. I'd say my only gripe with that figure is the city mode.
Yeah.
You know, compared, like, if you watching the cartoon, you know.
That city is huge. And like, it's a flying, you know, and he's meant to have people fit inside of it. But I think the scale with the Legends, I think they did a really good thing with this Titan scale.
Yeah.
A genius idea.
Yeah.
Bring them that they can scale. And for those of you who can't see on screen and that, I've got my Titans up there with Legends.
Yeah.
And I think they look great.
Yeah.
I think they really look good. They make everything pop, and they look huge. Like that Triptychon is... I actually had a G1 Triptychon and I sold it only because as a kid, I didn't have it. And when I got the re-release, and I sold the re-release as well, because I got him at the same time, and he's just an improved version of the G1.
Yeah.
And I figured someone else is going to enjoy this G1 more than I am. Whereas I enjoy the Titan Triptychon. He's a cool.
That's impressive looking figure.
He's great. I love him.
Have you got plans to add any of the new stuff that's coming out to the collection?
Oh, I'm looking at filling holes. I'm waiting for the Titan Scorponok.
Oh,
want that.
Yeah.
I was actually got really close to buying a G1 Scorponok about 2 years ago. We're talking at a toy fair, wallet in hand, looking at the cash in my fingers, looking down at it. But it was in box but not complete.
Oh,
and I wasn't willing. I think it was about 180 at the time.
Okay.
Which was okay, but I needed to get the complete.
Yeah.
It had to be, as there's, I think, something wrong with the head. And I could
okay.
not do. I think it might have been the visor missing.
Yeah.
And that would have just burned me.
Yeah.
I can deal with a missing weapon. I don't think I can deal with the missing part of the transformer.
Yeah. So what would you, if you had, at the moment, we've seen the toys, what they're looking at releasing. If there's like a top 5 that you're like, I need to get that.
The Beast Wars Megatron is pretty damn cool in the Masterpiece line.
Yeah.
Dino Body's a really cool figure, and I appreciate him. He's great. I can't justify the money for him.
Yeah.
It's a lot of money for what the size is. It is a big toy with great engineering. I still think I don't own an MP10, and that's my bad.
Yeah.
I need to buy the MP10.
Yeah.
So which one I get, I don't really care.
Yeah.
I like a lot of what the third party companies are doing. What Iron Factory are doing, and Mech Fan Toys. I've got a few of the Mech Fan Toys which are just a touch bigger than Legend scale.
Yeah.
They're insane.
Yeah.
In fairness, a lot of them are rip-offs of other third parties already.
Yeah.
Like the Iron Factories and things. So I just saw I think a new Iron Factory Legends Bludgeon is getting released.
Yeah.
He looks incredible.
Yeah.
But there was a non-color test shot showed, and he's one I'm going to add. I still need the Power of the Primes Optimal Optimus.
Yeah.
That is such a cool toy.
So which one? Because I see there's... which one?
The Optimal Optimus is the one where he's...
Because there's that Japanese one where he's sitting on
the throne.
The throne?
No, that one was a friend of mine actually just got that the other week.
Wow.
He sent me a photo. A good friend of mine. It's funny. It's funny. We met in high school, and he's also a member of the Transformers Collectors Club. But we've just been mates since we were 14. Yeah. And we go to Transformers place, or we go to toy fairs together and Supernova and that to get stuff. So he's just got that one.
Oh wow.
But no, the one I want is just the one which is essentially an upgrade of the original Optimal Optimus, which is still a great figure.
Yeah.
So I need him.
Yeah.
And probably the Beast Wars Leo Convoy.
Oh yeah.
The new, because I've got
the new one.
I've got the original one.
Yeah.
I've got the Robot Masters one, which to me is actually one of the best toys I've ever had.
Yeah.
I love it. The Robot Masters line was just before the Classics line.
Yeah.
And I really rate them. See, I've got the Beast Wars, just the scale for it. I've got Optimus Primal as well.
Yeah, I see that.
And they're great toys. They're a bit smaller. That was the only problem with the Robot Masters line. But they're great toys. So I'd love to get the Leo Convoy a masterpiece.
Yeah.
But other than that, it just I may look at. I never really liked Omega Supreme as a character. I don't know.
You?
It's just me. Just me.
Yeah,
Maybe it's because I'm a Decepticon guy.
Yeah, maybe.
In the comics, I think he's great.
Yeah.
I didn't really get into the comics until a couple of years ago.
Oh, okay.
But Omega Supreme in the comics, I enjoy much more than I did as the cartoon as a kid.
Yeah. So when I was watching the cartoon, I loved Omega Supreme because in every episode it was like, oh, Omega Supreme's here, like the Decepticons knew, like, and he just had the way he spoke was just, I just remember as a kid just being thinking, oh, yep, this is the Autobots. Like,
definitely different, wasn't he?
Yeah.
He was I can see why people like him.
Yeah.
And it's like things as well. When it comes to lines, I don't complete. I'm not a completionist.
Yeah.
I can see why people do that, and that's not a problem to me. I collect what I like.
Yeah.
I collect what I think will look cool with my other stuff, whether it's scale, because there's nothing. I have done it before, and I've on-sold, bought something just to complete a line. I'm like, not only do I not like this character, but I don't even like this toy.
Yeah.
So, on your way.
Yeah.
There's if they bring out a masterpiece Sea Spray, I'll probably grab that too.
Because you mentioned before, Sea Spray would be your favourite
Autobot. Probably for really no reason. I don't think, maybe because I had him as a kid. I believe every Australian kid had him as a kid. Yeah. I think we got it with our Dolomite account, to be honest. But that and Skydive from the Aerial Bots.
Yeah.
Always cool to me. So they've had some great releases. Surprised Sea Spray's got a lot of third-party releases. Good third-party releases. Really good. Yes. So I've got a few. What have I got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 Sea Sprays.
Yeah.
Different ones, and love them all.
Yeah.
So I'd say, and without a shadow of a doubt, my favourite ever is Starscream.
That's your favourite?
Favorite Transformer is Starscream.
Yeah.
He sounded cool. He's a jet. He looks cool. And I was just kind of rooting for him to get a win.
I think, I'm going to ask you like your favorite episode, but one episode that is one of my favorite is Starscream's Brigade, right?
Yeah.
So, but it's really funny because Starscream is not shy to let Megatron know that he wants to be leader of the Decepticons.
Cards are on the table from day one. You know it.
And Megatron is more than happy to have this person serving with him who's going to try and, take his position. Yeah. But it was just funny. And for all of Transformers, he'd always drop these things like, if I was leader of Decepticons,
Yep.
And just in that episode, I just can't remember now, but he says something to Starscream. Starscream shoots him from behind, and Megatron just falls over, and Starscream starts celebrating straight away. I'm your new leader. And then Megatron just gets up, and he's like, you and what army says go
Yeah.
away. But I think I'd say there'd be a lot of.
What was Megatron doing? Letting Starscream be there the whole time.
And
He's
that's-
obviously gunning for your job.
Yeah,
He's
yeah,
going to
yeah.
shoot you in the back at the first chance he gets, and yet you keep him around.
Yeah, yeah.
Galvatron had the right idea.
Well,
I guess.
and that was probably at the pinnacle of it, where Starscream's got Megatron's body.
Wanna
And Starscream's
bet.
like, I still function.
Yep.
And he's like, wanna bet? And he just, seriously, that movie and Starscream. But, I'd say a lot of people would have Starscream as one of their
He
favourite
is
characters.
he's almost like an anti-hero to the fandom.
Yeah, yeah.
There are certain characters in different whatever you support. Like, for example, I also love Dragon Ball Z, and Vegeta.
Yeah, yeah.
There's a massive fandom for him. The own creator, Akira Toriyama, hated Vegeta. Wanted to kill him off in his own manga, but the fan support was so big for him. They tried to kill off Starscream in the movie for the new toys and all that.
Yeah.
Fans loved him so much they brought him back as a ghost.
Yeah,
In ongoing series.
Yeah.
That would be my favourite episode, Starscream's Ghost.
Oh, yep.
Where he comes back and takes over from Scourge.
Yes.
And tries to do Unicron's bidding to get a body.
Yeah.
That's probably my favourite episode.
He was really close in that.
So close.
It was like he was almost there. And in fact, no, he did. Hold on. He did actually get
He stole
reanimated.
the transforming cog from Metroplex and stole the eyes from Trypticon.
Yeah.
Which, once again, for scale purposes, does not make sense. But as a kid, it makes complete sense.
Yeah.
I got really close again, but once again, Starscream, just there.
Just there.
And I don't know if you would have saw. I think it was Fans Toys that released their third-party masterpiece scale Scourge, and if you bought you could buy the 3-pack, and it'd come with another Scourge, so you'd have the sweeps and another Scourge, but one of them also could retrofit on invisible wings and Starscream head, so that is the ghost of Scourge. That was a really cool. I considered buying that for the masterpiece stuff, but probably should have at the time, to be honest. Now it's going to be more expensive to get it back.
Mm-hmm.
But Starscream's just, and plus he's got so many brothers. All his Seeker brothers, which are just cool, like Acid Storm and Sunstorm up there, the classic Thundercracker and Skywarp.
Yeah.
They're two I still don't have in my mind. I need the MP11 Skywarp and MP11 Thundercracker. Thankfully, they got 2 releases, so they're not too hard to get hold of.
No, this is seriously, because I haven't seen many collections like this. You've probably seen collections.
I know of people's collections.
Yeah.
I don't physically go to people's houses to see some of their collections, other than a couple of guys that we do business with in the Transformers Collectors Clubs. If they live local and say I buy something off them or they buy something off me, we'll go to each other's houses to do the transaction most of the time, and that's when you get to see someone else's collection. So a few of these on my shelves have been bought from other members of the Transformers Collectors Club Australia, which run good raffles. Brad Mole does good work, the president.
Nice.
He's a good man. I've been a member since they started.
Yeah.
And paid and proud since they started that too.
Oh, cool.
So, if anything, their Collectors Club got me more involved because I won an online raffle with them to get a Starscream figure. And from that day on, I just went nuts and started buying more. Nice. And that was probably about 8 years ago now.
Yeah.
Roundabouts.
Do you have any regret in your collection?
Oh, regrets of not purchasing. Ones that I have bought. I could probably look at some right now. The movie Jazz. I don't really want that.
Yeah. I was never a fan of that toy.
It's the Pontiac Jazz there, but this one's in the G1 color scheme, which I have sitting there. I needed the Bumblebee Camaro just because it was a cool thing to have, but he stays in Camaro form. Alternator Sideswipe I hate. I have him. He's at the back here of my alternators line. yeah, I just think he looks weird.
Yeah, no,
He's
I know what you're talking about there.
other ones that I've regretted buying. Not really. Like I said, I'm not a completionist as such. Oh, actually, you know what? Yeah, that the titanium Rodimus, he's a piece of crap.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
Yeah, he's only there because I've got a collection of Autobot leaders, and I want them all in scale.
Yeah.
And he was the only one I could find in that exact scale.
Oh, okay.
Even the Optimus there is actually a knockoff oversize of Robot Masters Optimus.
Yeah.
He's actually a really good bot. Like, the plastic is a little fragile, which is to be expected for that. But he's a really good bot, and he scale wise is perfect. That's why I got him. And he cost me like $17, I think, delivered.
Oh, that's all right.
But Deathsaurus. I don't think I wanted Deathsaurus, but I got him.
Okay.
I think he was the only real Deathsaurus available at the time. I still don't think he's cool. And even the Black Serac there, the Scorponok.
Yeah.
I think I just bought him on the day because I had the money.
Yeah.
The only reason I've got that Springer down there is because he came with a Rat Bat that I wanted.
Yeah.
So Rat Bat's up there in the leader section.
Yeah.
But this Springer down here, he came in that 2-pack.
Okay,
and
yeah.
I think that Springer's a piece of crap, to be honest.
Okay.
I mean, look at this one here. That's a great Springer.
Yeah.
That one's just terrible.
Yeah.
And he's a nightmare to stick with the other ones. So that's probably the regrets that I have. Other than that, the only regrets that I have are the ones that I haven't bought yet.
Okay, but you're still,
Oh, yeah, there's still not just ones that are getting released, but ones that have been released. Like I said, I need to get the MP10. That's a non-thing. I need to get the MP11 Thundercracker and Skywarps. Jeez. I don't even have MP Soundwave. I got MP Sound Blaster.
Oh, okay.
So I need Soundwave. I've got so many more that I need. Well, as my son now tells me, I don't need, I just want.
Yes.
But the diamonds in the rough for me are definitely Browning, G1 Browning. He's great. That's the die-cast gun standing next to Megatron.
Oh, yeah.
He is amazing. I could rob a store with that, lie.
Yeah.
He's such a fun little toy. He looks great.
That's the one they should have gone with for the original Megatron toy.
Yeah, I think so. I don't have a G1 Megatron. That's a necessity, actually.
Yeah.
So he's definitely one of my favourites. MP11 Starscream was my first MP.
Yeah.
I had to get him, and he's great. I know people have little problems with here or there, but I think that's been nitpicky. I think you look at that and you go, that's Starscream.
Yes, definitely.
And he's beautiful figure. Big Neo Convoy. He is one hell of a toy.
Yeah.
I mean, just look at him. Look at the chrome. Look at the colours. Look at the size. And the BFG gun is just amazing. BFG stands for a big bleeping gun.
Yes.
He's a great toy, and I'm very happy to have him in my collection.
Yeah.
Fort Max is beautiful. I'm very proud to have a Last Stand of the Wreckers collection. To have Overlord next to Skyquake next to next to some of the other G2 bots, and they obviously fought against the Wreckers.
Yep.
So I've got them there, all in about chug scale. Except my Perceptor's a third-party KFC one, which some people don't like. Alt mode is terrible.
Yeah.
But bot mode is great. And I still think that the Rodimus Ford GT alternator is the best of that entire line. I keep him in the Ford GT because he looks like he's a model car. He's that damn good. But he's just fantastic. So I've got some favourites, obviously. And also my... because I'm also a G.I. Joe fan, I've got the Alternator's Hound in my G.I. Joe collection. So he's very cool. But there's definitely more to come. Shelf space is obviously a problem.
Yeah.
But more is the money, really. You've got to be able to have the money to buy my eBay watch list is huge.
Hey. Oh, look, I can. I'm not gonna lie. I could be here forever, and I feel as though we can just talk about this forever.
Oh yeah.
But unfortunately, I've got to bring this to an end. It's been great chatting to you about your collection. It's been great chatting to a fellow Transformer fan. And seriously, this room, I'll share pictures of it. We could talk about so much more that's in this room. Sean's also got his, as he mentioned, he's got a little G.I. Joe section here. He's got his wrestling figures as well. This is like the ultimate man cave that he's got going on here.
Yeah,
as well as Dragon Ball Z minifigures.
He-Man, Ninja Turtles, Thundercats, Simpsons, Chuck Norris. And then there's the entire Batman section, which that's a Lego Batman section alone. But I need to get 2 more shelves to actually fit the Batman stuff that I've got away in storage.
Oh, nice.
So, yeah.
Yeah. So look, as I said, like Sean is definitely a collector, not just of Transformers, but of a whole heap of things. And
I like to say I collect cool, not what people think is cool, what I consider cool.
Exactly. Look, I would say that everything in this room is cool. I like everything in this room. So, yeah, Sean, thank you so much.
No, thanks for coming. Always happy to chat. And, you're always welcome to come around and have a look. Just don't touch.
Damn, that was my next question. Can I touch?
You can touch a couple.
Okay, no worries. Thanks, bro.
No worries. Thanks, mate.